Well, I think any little adjustments that have to be made, they are grasping onto it and going out and executing them. The thing that I'm so impressed with is they don't ever lose the fight. There's a lot of times where at first half at Northwestern, you could saw the defense go right in the tank. And there were so many things that we weren't doing like we wanted to do them. But they kept finding a way to stop them when they had to, or times to not let them just score all the time. I'm looking for the day when there aren't adjustments to have to be made at halftime. But that's part of football. And I'm just so impressed with that, with the way this defense battles and believes and keeps working, and that's us. That's Michigan. That's Michigan. And now we just got to continue to get better on our technique and continue to do the right things.
How critical was that first stop after the offense went down and scored to start the second half?
Really critical. I mean, really, every stop is critical for our defense, though. I mean, let's be honest. We've got to get the 3 and outs. And the fact that we were they were 4 out of 11 on third down was huge. 0 for 2 on fourth down, I think, was really huge. And, with the youth and inexperience of some of the guys we have out there, you got to get them off the field, and more importantly, when you have an offense like we have, and you have, you got to get that ball in D-Rob's hands. I mean, you have to. And that's kind of what you keep thinking a lot of times when you're making your calls on defense to let's try to get that ball back to him, and because our offense is, I'm certainly glad we aren't playing against our offense.
You talked a couple weeks ago about having to simplify the defense, and then Ryan, Rivalry, and Brady talked about having to simplify it again. Did you add more stuff again, and then it was back down at kind of the beginning, or is it even getting simpler?
No. In fact, in the first half, there was a period in there where I probably called the same defense about 7, 8 times, and I knew going into that game that this was going to be a really tough game for us, because it exposed some of the things that I thought we had to improve on, and that hurt us, and that's speed in the open spaces. That's being able to adjust and play, with a lot of experience, and that's what you have to do when you play an option team, And our thought going into that game, they had run the ball for 200 yards a game, so we felt, okay, we've got to stop the run. And when they spread us out, what you have to do is walk your linebackers out, and that opens up their running lanes. And we were kind of playing a chess game where we're said, okay, come on, I know you want to run, I know you're going to run, and they just kept saying, no, we're not going to run, we're going to throw the bubble. So what we ended up doing is putting bigger guys in there and playing with our big guys the second half, because we didn't feel like their wide receivers could block them. And that was what was happening in the first half, is the wide receivers were blocking our nickel guys and our secondary guys. So we just said, okay, Jake, you're going back out there. We're playing big guys. And that's worked. The first play, Jake came in and stoned the guy and made a great play. And so that worked. But, it's going to always be a chess match with this defense, I think.
How many times a year on average, it's a long time, do you make that drastic of a change at half? Is it only once or twice, or does that happen more often than?
No, I think it happens. I think every defense does that. I think the thing that you'd like to do on defense is you would love to make those adjustments on the sideline. But the problem, what you have to have when you do that, if you have to have a lot of experience, and you have to have a lot of guys that in the heat of the battle, when the fans are screaming and the offense is out there and guys are yelling third down, and you're telling a guy, you got to do this rather than that, you've got a chance of really having a problem when you go back out there. So I don't like to make wholesale adjustments on the sideline, and we feel like we have enough in our game plan to get us through it, and then be able to say, okay, guys, sit down, calm down. Here's what we got to do, and they did it.
Coach, kind of an X's and O's question. The Northwestern ran the veer option a lot to some success against your defense. I think there was some question as to like who has like in those cases, whose assignment is the quarterback and whose assignment is the pitch.
That's why people run the veer option, you know. And again, what happens to play an option team, you have to be very, very disciplined. You have to really feel confident in what you're doing, and it's happening really fast. And there was a number of times where you might have saw Jake go down and hit the dive. Well, our ends had the quarterback all day, you know. So right away you knew, uh-oh. And sure enough, now you got two guys on the dive and nobody on the quarterback, and that's why people run that offense, you know. And it's it taxes young guys. You know, it really does. And you know, so your next thought is to stun it a little bit and move it a little bit to try to make a play. And that quarterback was pretty good, you know. And so, you know, fortunately, you know, we settled down in the second half, and the guys said, okay, I got it now. I mean, every guy that made a mistake like that during the game, they came off, they looked right at you, and they went, I know. You know, and I said, I know too. That's 20 yards down the field, you know. But I was really proud of them, really.
So if you had to defend it again,
we do the same thing. The only thing we'd do differently if we defended it again is we would play it more honest, like you're supposed to, and not try to cheat to take away one part of the game and not the other. You know.
Is Kovacs a guy that maybe helps you try to cheat, because it seems like he was pretty good at least taking?
Well, that was his job. You know, that was his job. When you're playing the option and you're playing man coverage, there's a guy open. There's a guy with a blocker on him. A guy has man coverage and still is supposed to get off and try to make that play. Well, if you're stronger, better, faster, you can throw that guy away and make that play. Well, so we had Jordan going through the alley, meaning he would go dive quarterback to pitch, you know, and he made some good plays on it.
NFL has been kind of a concern all year. With a guy like Jake Ryan, is it just in discipline with him having to learn how to do that as a freshman, or how do you fix that?
Well, he gets better every day. He gets better every day in practice. I wouldn't trade Jake Ryan for anybody. You know, I think he's going to be a outstanding Michigan football player. And, you know, the fact that he's out there a whole bunch of snaps as a redshirt freshman, that's what we have. That's how it is, you know. Ask that question 2 years from now, and you're going to be saying, boy, Jake Ryan's really something. You know, and the difference is Jake Ryan is going out every day trying to do what he's supposed to do. He doesn't try to make a mistake. I also say, think of all the great plays he's made. You know, Jake Ryan has made some big-time football plays for this defense already, and he will get better and better and better. And we got to keep working with him.
Not just Jake Ryan, but the edge campaign in general. How do you shore that up?
Well, you've got a choice. And in that game, for example, there was a lot of times when we could have got to that quarterback, but our rushers were so nervous of losing contain that they didn't rush real hard. Okay, so now let's just say you're a fan. As a fan, do you want them to go get him and let that quarterback take off running, or do you want to try to keep him in there and make him beat you throwing it? That's the decision you've got to make. And then you have some pressures that do handle that. You know, well, the problem with pressures is they're not great against option. And a number of times when we would call a pressure, an option was coming at you, you know, and it was a very good game plan by Northwestern.
Have there been changes in Cousins? When you look at Cousins, does he look like the same quarterback as last year?
Yeah, I watched some film of him last year. He was good last year, and I think he's really good this year. You know, I think he's a really good quarterback. Anybody that wins as many games as he's won, you're a good quarterback.
What does he do well?
He makes good decisions. He's got a good arm. He's got good wide receivers. You know, he's got good running backs. You know, I think he's a very, very good quarterback.
Is B.J. Cunningham, when you look at the passing game, is he a difference maker?
Yes, he's a big-time wide receiver. Catches it. He's a huge target. Runs good routes. There's no question he's a big-time wide receiver.
Is he an NFL player?
I would think. I don't know how fast he is. I don't know what his 40 time is, but I know watching him on tape he is.
The fact that you guys, your corners at least have played Floyd already, does that help with them having to face a guy like this?
Yeah, I mean, the corners are your corners. So it doesn't matter who's out there; they got to cover them. That they have to. And I think the fact that we're 6 games into the season and they've played a lot of football helps them. And I would look for them this week to take a next step. And the next step. And but I'm excited to see what our corners do in this game.
Going back to the adjustments, a college halftime is longer than an NFL halftime. Are you able to talk a little more with your defensive coaches and figure things out a little easier?
Yeah, what you always do, you know exactly what's going on when you're on the sideline. You know exactly, and so what happens is you come in, and all the coaches come down from upstairs, and you come in and you say, okay, here's what's happening. Here's what we have to do to correct that. This is what we've got to get our players to do. And then I'll put it on the board and show the whole defense what our adjustments are going to be. And then the position coaches get down with their position and reinforce individually what they have to do. And then go from there. And that's the way. I'm not a big. I don't believe in a lot of screaming and yelling. Not with this team, because I think they're trying so hard. They didn't go out there and a lot of times some of those adjustments, or a number of the times, they're coaches. They're me. Maybe I didn't explain it right. Maybe we didn't get enough reps on that defense. You know what I mean? So to come in there and just start ranting and raving and yelling, not when this defense is trying as hard as they're trying. The whole key is, okay, let's give them something that they can have some success with, and that's been our game plan at halftime.
Do you game plan any differently, knowing they have 3 different running backs that they can throw out there at any time? No, you just game plan that they're going to run the football, and they can throw it too. No, they've got very good running backs. You're right. I mean, they do, but no, you don't game plan any different against this run when this back's in there. Do this and this. No. Mm-mm.
Brian, I know you weren't here obviously the last 3 years, but this team, the senior class, has lost Michigan State 3 years in a row. Do you have a special burn in you and the staff for these seniors that they need to get this win? How does that?
Yeah, I know exactly what they're going through. I know, I feel it just every meeting. And I know in my heart what this would mean to these guys, because these guys, I keep saying it, and you're not out there, what they have done since Brady's gotten here is amazing. I mean, it really is. And to see their look in their eye after games like the last one, and the one before that, and the one before that, you just say, God, I want to do a better job of coaching, man. I want to really, really help these guys, if any. And that's the way our whole staff feels, And I know 3 years in a row, I know, having been here before and know all about that. That would be as big as it could be, up to now. And then there'll be something bigger after that. But up until now, that'll be as big as it gets. But yeah, Angelique, I do see it, And that's why we want to do a great job of getting them ready.
Do you have any memories of this rivalry?
Oh yeah, I remember this game. This was always really, really big, and I know, we've got to go up there and be ready to play. And I think we've done that since the day we got here. This game has been one of those games,
Is the '95 one the one that kind of sticks with you, where they came back fourth quarter and pulled it up?
I remember it.
Something specifically.
I think I was calling defenses in that one too. Yeah. No. Oh yeah. They're a good football program.
Coach, you talked about how Northwestern plays a way that you didn't think your defense could defend well. Michigan State runs right at you. Do you almost relish that? Like, you guys take pride in rush defense.
That our deal, that's what a great defense is built on. You can measure a defense on how they stop the run. In my mind, that's where it starts. And we'll get challenged. That's what it's going to be. And they can throw it too. It's not like we can put 10 guys up there. But we've got it. This is going to be a test. This is going to be another. Like I said, this will be the next one now. Every week's a test for our defense. Every week, and we look forward to it.